Let's go to the US now. Former ambassador from Australia to the United States, former treasurer, friend of the show, Sky News contributor, let's just call him Joe. Joe Hockey's now, of course, here in Washington. Joe, are you allowed to go out for dinner anymore in Washington, or is it all still under lockdown? You've still got to ask permission if you want to go to, Shelley's back room and have a cigar?
Yeah. Well, yes and no. I think a lot of people are sitting outside. Some restaurants have opened, but there's still a lot of buildings boarded up near me because of the protests. So it's a half lockdown, if you like. But quite frankly, you're seeing right across Washington and across America that there's no consistent standards now. And I think a lot of people are just walking away. And as a result, you're seeing quite a big surge in the number of coronavirus cases. You know, Paul, 800 people are still dying every day here in the US from coronavirus, and more than half the states of the US now have increasing numbers of cases. And the lockdown's coming to an end. So it's going to end up quite the catastrophe.
I tell you what I'm really interested in, and the one state that I'm really focused on, both politically, but also when it comes to the virus, is Arizona. Now, Arizona is a place that normally you automatically count, oh, that's deep red, don't worry about it, that's fine. Well, there's a big battle there for the Senate. It's put purple or even leaning Biden at the moment, based on some polls. It's one of those perfect examples about a place that you think wasn't really that knocked around by the virus, and it started to open up, but its numbers are starting to spike at the moment. And I think Arizona is a place that a lot of Australians who want to be, armchair experts on the US about all things politics or virus, start reading more about Arizona.
Yeah, it's a really good point. And Arizona has a really high unemployment rate as well. It is a key state in the upcoming election. And it's going through a tortured process in relation to coronavirus. The interesting thing here is there is no national coordination anymore in relation to how to manage the coronavirus. And as such, it comes down to not only individual states, but individual cities. And there is no consistent wave across the US, but what you're seeing is outbreaks everywhere. And because people in the United States are going to be coming into summer, there's been record sales of recreational vehicles. There's been record rentals of the big vans that Chevy Chase made popular.
The RV.
Out of some really bad movies. And the RV is coming back writ large. You can't get a spot at any RV parks across America this summer. People are going to travel, and it's just going to swirl around the US community, and in perhaps a more virulent fashion. So, I think Arizona, you're absolutely right, is going to be a state to watch. Nevada is another state to watch. But also, there's two states that I'm watching, or two groups of states that I'm watching carefully. It's the sales tax states, because, as you know, there are a number of states in the US that have no income tax, like Florida, Texas, even Washington State, which covers Seattle. And so there was a lot of pressure on the state governments to open up their economies, because they're running out of money with no retail, no money. And they opened up early, and now they're getting a surge of coronavirus cases, particularly Florida, which just had one of its worst weeks ever. And then the second area, which is interesting, is what they call the air conditioning states, which are the southern states. And as it's getting hotter and hotter, people are flocking to the shopping malls, and of course, which are air conditioned. And then again, you're going to see the coronavirus swirl around. So there are so many different factors at play. And how that plays out in the election is going to be really interesting in November.
I'm interested. Maybe we can work on this as some homework for next week, but let's put up a map of America, and I want you to give us those things, the air conditioning states, the tax states. So again, how people in America call those things and about the politics around them.